This is the recap of Sunday's game to start with. Meanwhile, back in the mansion, Canny headed into the bar, finding the Syrian twins, Ferinus and Tichilos, chatting with Vasquez, Light, Eric, and Jarek. The guardsmen were swapping war stories. Silly war stories. It was the done thing, they said, after a brush with death. And they greeted Canny, shared a drink. Canny put his tricorn hat on to Jeeves. Jeeves looked most dashing in it. And together they spoke of the demon, Speyer, and how it seemed to Ferinus to be getting weaker each time you faced it. But was he right about this? Because the demon had used powers in the carnival that he hadn't wielded the first time you faced him. And Tichilos told the other guardsmen how Canny had ripped the spine from a heretic during that fight. This seemed to impress Jarek. And Canny had a little moment where, for just a brief moment, he saw his colleagues dripping with blood, maiming themselves, tearing skin from their own faces, Jarek pulling out his own heart, Ferinus's eye fell out, maggots were in the socket, and there was blood everywhere, but then the vision was gone. Meanwhile, Slab was sitting on the stairs in the foyer waiting for his little buddy Venetta to reappear, and he heard two people coming down the stairs behind him. And he turned to see who it was, and it was Missy, the housekeeper. And for a moment, he thought she was accompanied by Inquisitor Antonia Mesmeron. But it wasn't Mesmeron. It was Spring, all dolled up in a fancy dress with a big powdered wig. And she said, when Slab asked her what she was doing, that there was no longer a lady of the house. Little Tommy, Mrs. Son, has told her that he is concerned that he and his mother might be kicked out of the house because there was no longer a lady of the house there to vouch for them. So Spring, being smart, theorised that if she became the lady of the house, there would still be a lady of the house and a home for Tommy to call home. Because Spring's not that bright. She didn't really understand what she was saying. But Spring doesn't really understand what Tommy said when there is no longer a lady of the house. Because obviously Spring thinks he means there is no longer a lady of the house here in the mansion. But Tommy seems to be insinuating that there is no more lady of the house at all.
Psychic now.
Yeah, well, there's been hints before. There's been hints before that little Tommy might be psychic. And also, how did Tommy tell Spring this? Because Thomas doesn't speak. If you remember, the only thing he's ever done is yell at Siegfried, and he gave Siegfried a bullet, and Siegfried gave him a gun, and he never really speaks, but a few times he's picked up on things. So anyway, Spring then dragged Slab to the bar where everyone else was. Missy brought Slab his own powdered wig, because Slab also wanted to be a lady. Kenny was starting to think it was time to lay off Pench's good stuff after this strange vision he'd had. Things were getting a little bit weird lately, and so
but it's better like women.
Yeah, Canny gave Spring a bit of a hug and slipped his stash into Spring's handbag and said, keep hold of this for me. I think I need to lay it off a bit. What Canny didn't notice was while Spring was taking that stash, she slipped her fingers into Canny's pocket and picked his pocket and took something from Canny. Alan doesn't know that yet.
Brilliant.
Meanwhile, Carell...
he kept making the awareness test.
Yeah, he failed it. The only person that passed it was Carell. Carell spotted it, and one of the NPCs. And Johnny didn't say anything, which amused me no end. I've been trying to build up this bizarre will they, won't they thing between Carell and Spring, because obviously he's a young, naive copper, and she's a young, naive thief. So I'm trying to do a little bit of a weird thing with them. And Johnny's...
guarantee, though, Johnny will play the naughty card.
Well, so far he's done quite well. Basically, he complimented Spring on this new look, this lady-like look, and she got a bit embarrassed and she blushed a little bit. And Slab has decided that Spring is also little buddy as well as Venetta, so Slab's there glaring at Carell. Canny is very protective of Spring as well. Canny told Carell to watch it. And then lectured Spring about the copper's intentions.
What's wrong with him?
I know. And Canny also told Spring off and said stop flirting with Carell, and Spring got really embarrassed again and ran off and changed back into her regular clothes, but she still had the makeup on, this pale makeup and these fake eyelashes, and at one point she winked at Carell and the eyelash fell off and got stuck to her face, and then it was back to telling the Daft War stories. And Ferinus and Titulos told some stories about having fought Necrons before. Eric mentioned that when he served on Tranche, he accidentally brought down an enemy aircraft with a heavy bolter, which then crashed into the enemy trenches. And he like proudly claims it's his greatest kill, but he doesn't know how many people he killed. And he's also freely admits he didn't mean to do it. He fell over with his heavy bolter, which went off through the cockpit of an enemy plane and brought the plane down. So they're all telling these stupid war stories. And then Canny said, what is it about Tranche? I keep hearing about this planet, Tranche. It keeps coming up over and over again. So Vasquez said, it's a world perpetually at war. And she had served there along with Eric and Light and King Crimson, who at the time was Captain Crimson. And after their victory on Tranche, they were redeployed. And they and the survivors of their regiment, only a few dozen, were recruited by the Inquisition. And they were brought here to Desalium. And this was about 10 years ago. And they'd been performing some weird black ops missions involving kidnapping nobles. And so, Canny and Carell started to ask questions about this. Like, who were these nobles?
Black ops.
Yeah. So they were asking all these questions, who were these nobles that you were kidnapping? And basically, they kidnapped at least one noble from each of the 7 great houses, and they held them for so long, and then they returned them to their homes. They never found out why, they were kept in the dark about that. But at that point, Carell's like, I thought there were 8 great houses. And then you find out, up until 30 years ago, there was only 7 great houses. And then House Rosa rose to power, and House Rosa has come up before in the past in the story. And at this point, Johnny went, "Hang on a fucking minute. He was like, are you saying that you never kidnapped anyone from House Rosa?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we kidnapped someone from every house except House Rosa." And they were like, "Do you know the name of the Inquisitor you worked for?" It was Felroth Gelt. So Vasquez, Light, and Eric 10 years ago were working for Felroth Gelt. At that point, everyone started drawing guns. I thought there was going to be a gunfight in the mansion, but it all got calmed down. They had no idea that you guys were searching for Gelt. They also aren't particularly fond of Gelt because he abandoned them on this world 10 years ago, and they haven't been able to get off this planet. So at this point, Johnny realised, these guys know Gelt. These guys were working for Gelt. Gelt is something to do with this House Rosa business, something to do with House Rosa becoming more powerful. So he went into full investigation mode, asking questions of the soldiers. They found Otto's research. Canny had a flashback to being Otto for a moment. He was sat in Otto's office doing research, which was a bit weird, I think. And basically, Carell started going through Otto's research because Otto collected a load of information on House Rosa, but never looked into it. So Carell, Canny, Slab, and Spring set up an evidence board and spent the night piecing together all this information. And Carell figured out what had been going on. He realised that 30 years ago, House Rosa first began to become more powerful. And it was shortly after the marriage of a man called Lord Perseon Hargrove of Fenxworld. And he married the lady of the... No. He married the lady of House Rosa, the head of House Rosa. Fenxworld is a world that is often used by the Inquisition for fake identities. That's where Siegfried and Trantia claim to be from. That's also where Mira and Vladimir claim to be from in the other game. So at this point, they're like, this fucking Lord Perseon, he's not a lord from Fenxworld. He's an Inquisitor. He's a member of the Inquisition somehow. So they started looking into this more, and they saw that after this marriage... there was a series of industrial failures in the other 7 great houses. Each time, House Rosa began to profit by taking up the slack, and that's how they became a bigger house. And you already knew some of that. But then in Otto's files, there were lots of pics, images and video footage of various ceremonies involving House Rosa, such as the House Rosa wedding to this Lord Perseon Hargrove and the opening of their first major factorum, and countless other images and videos and footage and news stories. And in each of these pics was a man. And and this man is this Lord Percy Hargrove, and Corell recognised this man. He's met him. He met him at the Gallows Way at the Purity Gate when the undead were attacking. There was a general there who held the soldiers together and stopped them routing in the face of the undead, while Gaius and everyone were down hive, trying to get to the bottom of it and facing the Nurgle stuff. If you remember, Gaius called his team to the Purity Gate to help defend the Purity Gate.
Yeah.
And that defence was led by a man named General Calcior Delaney, who Corell met. And he was described as having fired an ornate bolt pistol as he barked his orders, rallying the defenders. And when the pistol ran dry, he discarded it and took up a las rifle. And then when you all left the Gallows Way, and when Canny was carrying Gaius over his shoulder because he was unconscious and everything, Corell was approached by one of the soldiers and said to him, "You don't know where the general's gone, do you? I've got his pistol." And Corell was like, "Oh, give us it here. I'll make sure he gets it back." And Johnny never looked at the pistol. And so on Sunday, when I was saying, this General Calcior Delaney is the same guy as the husband of the head of House Rosa, I was like, "You've still got this bolt pistol?" And he was like, "Can I look at it?" I was like, "Yeah, there's an inscription on it. Here you go." And I've got a handout. And I put the handout on the screen, and the handout says the inscription on the bolt pistol is "To FG. My eternal thanks. You always seem to be in the right place at the right time. May the Emperor forever watch over you. S.A." And Johnny's like, "FG? Felroth Gelt? What the fuck?" And then he was like, Who's S.A.? Who's S.A.? And he went through the entire list of all the characters that have ever been mentioned until he found S.A., which is Staven Arcturos, which is Mesmeron's former mentor and, if rumours were to be believed, her husband.
No, it wasn't for me. The husband.
Yeah, so basically this bolt pistol looks like it's been given to Felroth Gelt as a thank you, as a gift from Staven Arcturos, which is another Inquisitor that was Mesmeron's husband. And at this, Johnny and I are like, "Wait a minute, this isn't about the Inquisition at all," because Staven Arcturos was killed by Gelt. So the suggestion is that they were friends once, and then Gelt has killed him. And so Johnny and Alan at that point are like, "Fucking hell, this isn't about the Inquisition, this is about revenge. We're here to kill Gelt as revenge for Mesmeron. That's why the campaign's called Blind Weapons." And they got all excited about it and all this stuff. And anyway, then it turned out as well, they got the Inquisition's Most Wanted files and compared the pictures, and this General Calcior Delaney and Lord Percy Hargrove and Fenxworld are the same guy. They are Felroth Gelt. So now you know that Felroth Gelt is like the husband of the head of House Rosa. So obviously whatever he's been doing, he's been intentionally building House Rosa to become a very powerful house.
And he's already seen our faces.
He already knows who you all are, yeah. And he's known for quite some time. So, which explains as well, if you think about it, a lot of other stuff. Because he turned up at the dinner as well, didn't he, as the chef, puppeting a chef. There's a lot of stuff when you start to think about it, it'll start to make sense, and I'll reveal some of that in the next session.
Oh wow!
With that, it was getting quite late in the night. They tried to contact Gaius and Venetta and the others, but the comms weren't working. They couldn't contact anyone outside the mansion. And Alyssa kept saying she would try and repair the comms, but she wanted to play a game. And she kept going on about wanting to play a game, and then she started to malfunction and say weird stuff, and she kept repeating herself over and over again. And they kept asking, "What game do you want to play?" And she just kept going, "Do you want to play a game?" And all this weird shit was going on. And then she just shut down. She stopped working altogether. So they got Ted to have a look, but Ted isn't really that clued up with AI. So they got Zelda to try and help, but Zelda isn't either. So they gave her some speed and some stims and told her to stay up all night and learn how to fix Alyssa. And Zelda, being Zelda, just went, "Okay." So she's now off her tits.
That's dreadful, isn't it?
So yeah, that's Zelda. It's the weird nerd that replaced Otto. So
Yeah,
she's speeding off her tits now, trying to learn how to fix Alyssa, which probably isn't going to happen. Meanwhile, Canny told Carell that he wasn't feeling very well and he thought he was dying, and he made Carell swear an oath to protect Spring. And then everyone went to bed, and Canny had a dream. And in this dream, he was at a crossroads. You what? Sorry.
Is plagued by him, bless him.
Yeah, he has been ever since certain things happened. But in this dream, Canny was at a fork in a road, and down one fork there was blood and bones and seraph. Down another there was twisted, overgrown plants and rotting meat and a silhouette of a large, fat woman that he couldn't quite see, which was supposed to be Fat Fanny.
Yeah.
And then behind him, back the way he came, was Venetta on a perfectly normal path. And basically all three of these women were calling to him, basically giving Alan the chance to choose between Khorne, Nurgle, or stepping back to a more Puritan path. And Alan chose the path of Khorne with Seraph. So that's going to be Canny's future, I think. Something's going to happen there, and that's where we ended it. So that'll all be something that comes in later at some point. I know Alan's been talking to you a bit about what to do with Gaius, hasn't he?
Yeah, keeps mentioning bits here and there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have a chat with.
He just says fuck him off and play the two you like.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not do that? You've never really got on with Gaius particularly well, have you? You've always struggled with him.
No.
But
but
there's see, if there's no need to make a
decision.
I
find if I've got an accent for a character, I get into character.
Yeah, same.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, but there's no need to make a rush decision about that, because it's going to be a long while before Dick and Vlad turn up. It's going to be probably a good 7 or 8 sessions. But when he does, whatever you want to do, we'll have a talk about what you want to happen to your other character that gets written out. I mean, they might be. We send them off to go and do something, and they could always come back later. We might kill them off. We could hibernate them. We can do all sorts of stuff. We can turn them into a villain. You know, there's loads of different things you can do with a character.
I'll tell you what I would like to do to kill off Gaius, or not kill him off, is have him and Alyssa like brace the machine and like.
So that's another thing, yeah.
Fucking changing the rooms while Gaius goes and tries to exterminate people out of the mansion. I mean, like, it would make a fucking great one where everybody's trying to take down Gaius.
So there's a lot of stuff we can do, and I've got some plans for Alyssa as well. So there's loads we can do. We'll have a think about it. We'll have a chat about it one day. But for now, let's see what Silus is up to, shall we? So here we go. She had stole away in your wagon. The fact that she had gotten into the wagon at all was quite a feat, and staying hidden from you all the way from the carnival to the Purity Gate in Sector Gamma 14 was something else entirely. She had broken into your wagon and stowed away. Ordinarily, you might have been angry, but then she did save your life. At the Purity Gate, you were warned that the storm outside was intense, and you'd seen your share of radstorms. You know the wagon and your suit can handle such things, but there was something about this particular storm that seemed worse, more aggressive, somehow personal almost, as it battered you about in the airlock, trying to tear your suit from you. It slammed into the hive walls and tore in through the open Purity Gate, sending the rad counter in your suit insane. It tore the wrist seal of your suit open, and for a brief moment you even thought you saw something tall and winged lurking in its murky depths, and you grasped and flailed at the wagon's handles. You were so close, but the storm was so intense. You managed to get the door open, but the winds, they were too strong. They were going to beat you. They pulled and pulled at you, as though they did not want you to get into that wagon. They did not want you to leave the hive. And then she saved you. Reaching out from the wagon with her exposed hand, no rad suit, you watched as the razor-sharp sands began to eat away at her wrist, and she grabbed your hand and pulled and pulled and pulled, drawing you into the wagon and slamming the door closed. Her name was Agnetha. She was one of the carnival folk. She needed to get away, she said, from that place, the carnival of catastrophe, for there was only death there. She just needed a ride, to where she did not know, but she would know when she found it. You offered her work to remain by your side and join you in your scavenging. She had smiled, but politely declined. She already had a job, she said, but she was grateful for the offer. It's approaching midday as the wagon pulls out into the Desolium wastes. The storm still howls and batters the slab-sided Taurox, but it seems to be calming down, although it's still playing up, still causing a little bit of havoc with your Auspex. And Agnetha sits beside you in the gunnery chair, peering out into the dense sandstorm through the armor-glass portholes. And the flesh on her wrist has healed remarkably quickly. There's barely a trace of a scar there, never mind a fresh wound as it should be. So that being said, it's about 11 a.m. Let's put you on your little map. Oh, where is it? There it is. Okay, so there we are, back on the Desolium Wasteland map. So, let me just get a couple of things up.
Looks very, very nasty in the Desolium Wastes. Where am I?
You're right there, where that where the APC
Oh,
is.
I always got a problem with this one. I end up just running around the map.
Okay, so the way we're going to do this, you can.
Aha, I found it.
What the hell?
This.
Second, I've lost the. I've lost the rules for Silus. Where are we? There we go. Right, so there's a few things you can do. You can drive around. You can revisit tiles you've already been to. The advantage of that is you don't have to scan it to find out what the terrain is. I mean, you never have to anyway. You can just drive straight into a square, but if you scan it, you know what's there in advance. So what we do is you pick a square that you either want to scan or move to, and then we work out how long that takes, and then we keep going until you run out of time for the day.
Okay.
You don't have any particular objectives either, other than what Gladstock told you to do, which was go out into the wastes and find Xenos tech.
It wasn't Gladys. It was Agatha, wasn't it? Her name. Agatha.
Yeah, I'm on about. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Gladstock set you the task, didn't he, to go and find things in the waste.
Oh yeah, I'm going to carry on doing that. I was just making sure I had the right name for the woman.
Yes,
Agnetha. Found her address.
Yeah, Agnetha. Yeah. I've got a picture of her actually, because she's changed her look. She normally wears like a layered, gauzy dress, but she's changed it because she's gone for a wander out into the wastes, and it seemed like a bad outfit to wear in the wasteland. So she looks a bit more like this now.
Bit of a gilf.
Yeah, she's about 50 years old.
I think what's Silus? So was he?
He's about the same, I think.
Yeah, I think I made an older guy, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's cool. Right. So, we're hunting Xenos tech. You got any feeling where I'd be able to drive to and find some?
She says,
What was your job at the carnival?
well, I was the fortune teller.
Oh well, that's good. Lucky for me then. If you up my fortune once, maybe you can up it again and tell us which way we should maybe potluck this scavenger hunt.
She says, well, I'm afraid doesn't really work like that. You see, most of the time, the fortunes I told in the carnival, they were they're what's called cold reading. I would use people's body language, the way they dress, the way they act, and small, subtle cues to essentially tell them what they wanted to hear. There was no real magic involved. My actual abilities, they're passive, and by that I mean I don't have control over them. I'm what's known as a diviner. I can see what is to come. I can find things and people, but I don't have the control to trigger them. They just kind of happen to me.
Oh well, like your wrist healing up in
I
no
mean,
time.
that I can do at will, and a couple of other bits and pieces. But
Can you heal other people?
yes,
Say if I was down.
yes, I could help you
Oh,
if you were
all
hurt.
right. I think that sounds pretty useful to me.
But
Well, okay. Agatha, you're gonna divine the future. You see that what's a pen called in the 40k world? You see that pen on the table? Well, the pen in front of you on the notepad.
yes,
Give it a spin for me, please.
okay, she does. She spins it.
What end is the pencil end facing?
Hang on a sec. Just trying, I thought I had some dice up here, but I don't. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to do it as a D8, with north being 1, working around the compass.
Yeah.
8.
Does that mean we're going back into the town?
Yeah, that wouldn't make a lot of sense, would it?
Well, let's reverse 8 and go for 4.
Okay. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be this square here. So that is.
Okay. Gas.
I can't remember
Was
what
it
that
poison
this
swamp?
is.
I think that's gas, isn't it? Is the other one poison swamp and the greeny ones?
That's the greeny ones you're on about are like I think they're Promethium. Yeah, they're Promethium swamps. The one that we've just indicated is acid lakes. So you can still go into them. You know, the whole square isn't taken up by the acid lake.
Let's go burn some crud off the bottom side of our vehicle, eh?
So it just all it does really is it changes the speed at which you travel and also what might be in that zone. So you can scan it first if you want before you go. You don't need to scan it for terrain type because you already know, but you can scan if you want, or you can just drive in there.
I'm just going to drive in there.
Okay.
Get a bit of distance.
Cool. So now we work out how long that takes. Where have I put that? I've just lost something. Where's it gone? I literally just had that in front of me and it's disappeared. There we go. Right, so I need you to make a little roll. This is going to be a navigation surface roll.
Okay.
And because it's an acid lake, you get a -10. And all this does is it varies the amount of time it takes for you to cross this this area. Okay, so that's going to take you 1 degree. Where are we? Acid Lake. It's going to take you about 3.5 hours to travel this 50 kilometers because it's so twisty and treacherous and dangerous. So you haven't made particularly good time there, but there's.
Oh, wow.
not much can be helped
Fine,
by that.
I'm going to scan the next area, please.
Yep, just a second.
Agnes, can you flip that button over there for me?
Let me just make a note of this.
Excellent. Agatha. Can I call you Angie for short?
I'd rather you didn't.
You sure?
Yes, quite. That was
okay.
That was
I'll
the name
take
of
that as final
a
answer,
that was the name of a teacher
Agatha.
back at the Scholar Progenium, and she was a right bitch.
Oh, well, we don't want to bring back no bad memories, do we?
Okay, so you want to do a scan now.
Yeah.
There's two ways you can do this. You can do multiple scans if you want, but each one takes a certain amount of time. So you can
Scan for terrain first.
Yeah, so you can do this terrain scan, or you can do a more specific scan as well. You can.
Okay, I'll do energy signature.
Yeah, hang on a
Scan.
sec. Let me just try and remember how this works.
I had energy signature. I had an environment one, so I could determine what type
Yeah,
of ground.
it's not that. There's something else. There's something else. Right. Yeah. So make an Auspex scan with. With a +20. So an awareness test with a +20.
Awareness or just tech use?
No, this is
awareness. Yeah.
It's awareness for the terrain and tech use for the other types of scan.
So awareness for the terrain. Wow. I know. I can see this terrain like broad daylight.
So you now reveal all the areas of terrain that you haven't already around you. So roll a D100 3 times, please.
Uh, 72, 96, 57.
Okay, 72 is Prometheum Swamp.
Yeah, I love those.
96 is Mountain.
Don't really like getting up one of them.
And 57 is Heavy Rock. Okay, so that's the new terrain around you. So that took about half an hour.
So what's 52? Heavy?
Heavy Rock.
Heavy Rock.
So basically, it's like light rock is small boulders that the Taurox can easily get past or plough out the way, and heavy rock slows it down a bit more. That's all it is.
Okay. Right, I think we're still going to go with the pencil. I've got a good feeling in the pen. Let's go to point 8. So I'm going to head to the gaseous swamp and drive past here. So I'm going to head into there. Oh, I need to scan for energy signs as well. Sorry, first.
Yeah, so
I'll do the gaseous swamp. I'll do the Prometheum.
There's two things you can do. You can select the Auspex to scan for a particular type of thing. So you can set it for structures, biosigns, energy, radiation, or gas, and it will scan every square around you. Or you can pick one particular square and scan for all of those things in that one square.
I'm going to pick the Prometheum swamp and scan for everything.
Okay, that's the one to the west, right?
Yes, because I'm going to head with the pencil direction from when we started to see if we get lucky.
Okay.
That's the plan, Dave. Good plan.
Okay.
Maybe drive around to the other side of the city. Hey, who knows?
Yeah. Right. So another Auspex scan, focused on the square. So I need you to make. This is a tech use test, and it is. Hang on. Yeah, so it's a tech use test with +20.
Okay. Do this. And he cracks his fingers before typing on his data slab. Oh, can I re-roll that with a fate point?
Sure.
Doesn't feel like it's the time. Come on, Silus, you can do this.
All right.
Just.
So, because you've only got half a degree of success, you get to choose one thing that you can learn about from that list.
Energy.
Okay.
Signatures.
All right. So, roll me a D100. Yeah. Okay. There is nothing in that square giving off an energy signal.
All right. Scan the one in front of me.
Oops.
I'll move through that area anyway.
Yep.
So let's.
So we need
that.
need another roll. So that's another navigation surface roll with a -10.
Navigation service with -10. It'd be nice to roll some nice terrain for a change. Oh wow.
Okay. So that is Acid Lakes. Just a pass.
Fucking filthy cities, acid lakes all around it.
Yeah, it's not a nice planet. So that is another 3 hours to get round there. Okay. Now what would you like to do?
Scan the terrain around me again.
Okay.
Awareness test, I guess, is
Yep.
it?
Awareness at +20. Okay, so this, yeah, all this gives you is it gives you one square, and then you get an extra square for every degree of success. So, which one would you like? The one west or the one southwest?
One west, please.
Okay, give me a D100.
Okay. 98.
98. That is another mountain.
Love mountains.
There's lots of mountains around here, isn't there?
There is.
There we go.
Okay. Gan. Southwest.
Okay. Oops.
Oh yeah, sorry, awareness test.
Yeah, you don't have to scan before you go in. You can just drive in. It just means you're not prepared for what's there, so it might cause problems.
All right. Well, I'm going to try to focus scan into. Did I focus into any energy signatures or anything?
Yeah, you didn't find.
I didn't.
No.
What in that square?
Yeah.
Or didn't roll for what scenery it was?
No. For the one you're in now, you did. But
For the mountain in front of me.
For that. No, you can scan for that if you'd like.
Yeah, I might as well see if it's worth going that way. Tech use +20, isn't it?
Yep. Okay.
Ooh.
Right. So again, you just get one again. So pick one of those 5 topics.
Energy.
Again. Okay, and then give me a D100. That's better. Ooh. Right. Let me just make a note of this. +10. Okay, right. So yeah, you have a good scan of that mountain area. Let me just add up some time. Hang on. That's 4.5 there. 7.5, 8, 8.5. Okay. Yeah, you pick up an unusual energy reading, and it's quite weak. You don't think it's Imperial.
Well, let's go. Let's go mountaineering, Agatha.
All right.
It's time. I'm going to move into that section and look for it.
Okay. So, need another drive roll. Then this will be at -30 because it's quite treacherous terrain.
I'm under the token.
You're under it.
I'm under it. I'll move it out, but I can't go. I can't drive it. I found a tunnel.
There you go. I just hadn't put it on.
You've added it on. You've copied and pasted it after, don't you? You just need to right-click and bind and press to the top.
Yeah, it was. The mountain was on the map, on the token layer. Still, that's all it was.
Oh, I got you. Oh, how dare it. So, what? Anyway, what was I doing? Drive.
Yep, another navigation surface roll, please. At -30.
Okay, at -30. Okay. This is where I look at Agatha and I wink for a bit of luck.
That's not so bad. Because it's tricky. Where are we? All right. So it's going to take you. It's a treacherous climb. It takes you into the evening to drive up into this mountain range, and the sun begins to set. And by the time you get up into this mountain range, you realise there's a cave nearby, but it's very, very dark. It's also getting late. You've been driving for most of the day, so now you can choose whether you want to investigate the cave now or if you want to set up camp here and investigate it in the morning.
I think we'll set up camp, rest up, and see it in the morning.
Okay.
As much as I'd like to, the sensible option would be to sleep first and then go in daylight.
Yep.
You know,
so
I'm only a little man.
13. So that's about it's about midnight. And Decilium doesn't have a moon, so it's usually quite dark at night outside. So you'd be relying entirely on torches and shit like that. All right, so that's the end of the day.
Hey, saw some booty.
As the evening comes around, Agnetha sets up a small Promethean-powered cooking stove, and she's wearing this kind of uniform that I've just shown you with this like ragged sort of cloak, hooded cloak over the top of it. And you notice she begins to cook something. She starts to chuck various ingredients out of this bag. She did tell you she wouldn't be any trouble. She brought her own food, and she starts to make a stew for you both out of this bag of food that she's got. And you notice there's like a logo on the shoulder of this this uniform that she wears. I'd like to make a common law Imperium test, please.
Actually had that, but I think this is a point I should maybe use a fate point as well. How many do I have? Do I have 3 or 2?
I can't remember.
1. Look. Fate points 2. Ooh. No, I'm going to pass it up.
Okay.
So, you might need it to save your life if I'm out in the morning in this cave.
You never know, do you? So, you also notice that she has, and you've seen this before, she has this very high quality, long-barreled las pistol. It almost looks like a dueling pistol, holstered on her hip. And you've seen this before. It's got this unusual logo on it that you've not familiar with. You also notice that she has strapped to her left calf a dagger in a sheath. It's this very odd, gently curving dagger, which also has a certain symbol on it. And I'd like you to make another common law Imperium test, please. Okay, you don't recognise this symbol.
I must have banged my head pretty hard when I got into the truck earlier.
As she stirs the stew, she hands you a tin cup filled with a very strong recaf, and she says to you, "Thank you, Mr. Cassidy, for not kicking me out or shooting me."
That's all right, yeah. As I say, it saved my life, and it's nice to have a little bit of company now and again.
She peers into the cave. She says,
I don't want to go in there at the moment.
She says, "No, you said you were a scavenger. So what sort of things do you find out here? It all seems rather barren."
Well, I'm here searching for archaeotech. I find trinkets, weaponry, alien artifacts sometimes. This is a world that belonged to another race before we got here. That's what I believe, anyway. So there's all sorts of things in the ground. I mean, I would have been able to buy this Torox and keep functioning a free living lifestyle, just trekking my way around here and picking up whatever I can and selling it. Good lifestyle. I'd try it.
As you talk, she constantly fiddles with a ring on her fourth finger of her left hand, and it glints in the firelight. You can see it's made of like a silvery grey metal, and there are 3 tiny red gems in it, and you can just make out in the firelight it's inscribed with aquillas that run around the band's circumference. She's constantly fiddling with it, and she takes in everything you say, and she says, "Yes, I've heard stories before, rumours about this planet, about how it was once populated by some foul Xenos species. But
All I do is find it and sell it on. I mean, I've been tasked now to... Anyway, I shouldn't really speak about that, but yeah. Gotta go find myself something."
She peers into the
keep me in
cave.
business, eh? I don't want to go in there just yet. And I keep saying that every time she looks in there.
You think we'll find something in there?
I got an energy signature, and it's not Imperial.
She looks a little uncomfortable as you say this. She says, "Do you think we'll find aliens?"
Oh yeah, you pretty handy with that swanky-looking pistol. You do look. For some reason, you're giving off military vibes. I don't know why, but you're giving off military vibes for some reason for a carnival worker with your sleek-looking guns, your hard-ass attitude in quick situations. So I trust you to have my back. Must have had some sort of training, so I'm not going to ask any more questions from that. Your business is your own, but I can recognise you must have some skill. You also tailed me without me even seeing you.
She smiles faintly, and she looks away down at the fire, and she says, "I'm not a military woman, Mr. Cassidy, but I have had a certain amount of training, and yes, I do know how to use this pistol, and I will come with you tomorrow, and I will watch your back."
Oh, nice one. Well, you see, I ain't much of a fighter. I'm a bit of a tech head. I'm good with my guns, but if someone gets hold of me, I bet it can pick me up like the little 5'2" ragdoll I am.
Well, let's not let them get close enough then, shall we?
No. But as I say, I'm twizzle my dual pistols out, round, put them back away. I'm not bad with these. Still savvy enough to be here at my age.
She pats the las pistol, and she says, "It's over 30 years since I last fired this weapon in anger, but I've kept up my marksmanship, so I'm sure we can handle anything we encounter."
Oh, well, fantastic. The only thing I hope to be using in that is my little shovel over here. It's a bright, cleaned, perfectly polished shovel. not a cemented dirt on it. Just leaning, like, clipped up against a wall harness somewhere, you know, a wall rack with all other tools assorted in line next to them. And pop out my little mini digging scavenging shovel. It looks like it's brand new, but it's not. You can see there's a well-worn edge, but fired down and kept sharp. It says, hopefully we'll be using this to find and sell some treasure. Think of this as a treasure hunting mission.
She says, I'll be honest, I'm quite excited. I've never been hunting treasure before.
Oh, let's get us some rest, and then we can get on with it in the morning, can't we? We need to have our heads screwed on. Sometimes there's other scavengers, sometimes something to worry about. Sometimes I don't want no business with you at all, so you don't always shoot first.
I
Sometimes
understand.
we trade out of here.
Yeah, we haven't. We've covered quite some miles, and we haven't really seen a soul, have we? You can still see, by the way, as well, north of you. You're still close enough that you can see the hive. You know, it's only about 100 miles away, and the tip of it is still over the horizon because the hive city is that big. You can see like the top sort of half of it peeking over the horizon. And she serves the stew up at this point as well as she's chatting away to you, and she says, "You know, this is the first time I've been outside the hive skin in over a decade."
How's it feel? Even though you are confined to the walls of my tórax here.
She says, "It's a bit of a relief. I didn't grow up on a hive world. It feels very oppressive. The weight of all that plasteel and ferrocrete and all the millions of people above you. It's nice to once again be out under an open sky."
I do find it quite refreshing. We'll have to check the wind temperatures before we go out. Not wind temperatures, but also the winds. I've only got one windsuit, so
Yes, that
camera.
might be a problem.
Yeah.
She pulls out. She's got like a satchel with her, and she reaches into it, and she pulls out a rebreather and goggles. And she says, "I have this, but I don't think that would protect me for long against the radiation if the storm is still out there."
I'll tell you what I'll do. When we go in, we'll side park the door right to the cave entrance, so there's no wind coming through.
Good idea.
We'll do it like that. Seal it up.
Excellent. I look forward to our adventures within the cave.
All right, and how do the beds work in a Torox? Do they pop out on the floor top or something? How's my camper Torox work?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of up to you. I kind of imagine because they have like a rack of a row of seats either side at the back, don't they? So I always imagine that you've maybe converted one of them into like a fold-out bed or something. That's how I always assumed it would be. But it can be however you want it to be, really.
I kind of feel like he's got his sort of like research bed at the front for his energy signatures. Then in the back, it's sort of like a living area.
Yeah.
You know, where he can keep salvage as well, and like crates and stuff, and also he's got like a little bit of a living area there. So maybe he's got a pair of bunk beds or something. Let's just say.
Yeah.
And a little desk and a toilet. And also, he would have his own pull-out cooker. Let's just say it's kitted out like.
Yeah, I always imagined it would be kitted out to be totally self-sufficient out in the wastes. That's how
like a caravan.
Yeah,
it's like a caravan.
It's a motorhome. Nice. It's a futuristic motorhome with a cannon on the roof.
Yeah.
Right. So
perfect.
Climb into bed, and you drift off to sleep, and your sleep is untroubled. And I'm just going to go get a drink. I won't be a second.
Me too. You're right, Owen. Hello there.
Hello. Right.
So it's the day after, is it?
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
In the morning, you awaken to the smell of cooking, and as you look round, you realise the side door to the Taurox is open, and Agnetha has set up her little camping stove outside. She's cooking some sort of breakfast with again with the assortment of ingredients she's got. And as you come to the door, she sees you and she says, "Oh, good morning, Mr. Cassidy." And she pushes a cup of recaf over to you again. She says, "I took the liberty of preparing breakfast. It seems that the storm abated during the night, and the sky is surprisingly blue and clear. Often you're used to it being quite murky and grey on this world. But today it is one of those rare days where the pollution doesn't seem as bad as it normally is. There's always like this fine layer of like sand in the air. It seems to not be as bad."
I'm trying to be courteous here. I'm a little bit, as because Silence has made a clean feet, he's worried about the sand going into his truck.
That's why I left the door open.
He's trying to keep, he's trying to keep it under wraps. So it's sort of like looking at that and eyeing up his brush as well. And I come out and join her, grab the recaf, put my shoes on, go outside, and slip my boots on very neatly, brush the sand off the tops of my toes, and then shut the door. Obviously, it's not going to be locked, is it, if I shut the door?
No, it'll be fine, yep.
I mean, voice commands like Batman. Anyway, yeah, shut the door, and thank you for the coffee.
Okay. And, as she serves up the breakfast to you, she says, "Mr. Cassidy, as I said last night, my skills classify me as a diviner, someone who is capable of seeing what is yet to occur, but it is passive. The visions often come to me in dreams, sometimes during the day, sometimes at night as I sleep. Sometimes they are glimpses of people or places or things, objects, and I have learnt in my reasonably long life to trust these visions and to let them guide me. I believe that the God Emperor sends me these visions and is sending me towards something, and he has been since I was a girl. Several years ago, one such vision brought me to this world, which was surprisingly difficult to reach, as a matter of fact. Another vision, when I arrived here, guided me to the carnival, where I have worked ever since as a fortune teller. a few months back, a group of people entered my tent. One of them asked me to do a fortune telling on them using the proper techniques, not, as I said, the ones that we used to bluff people with.
Okay.
The night after I performed that ritual, I had another vision. The strongest vision I have had in many years. And in that vision, I saw you and your vehicle. And she points to the wagon.
All right.
And
This is getting a
then
little bit weird.
it says, and then yesterday, I saw
So
you
just recap a little
walk
bit
through.
more nervously.
Yesterday, I saw you walk through the carnival, and I knew that it was time for me to move on. That night, not yesterday, sorry, the day before. That night, I had another vision. She says, I saw the carnival bathed in blood, and I saw it burn, and I repeatedly saw your vehicle again in that dream, and that is why yesterday I left the carnival in search of your vehicle and found it. And now I know I must travel with you and your vehicle until I have another vision that comes true. And last night I had that vision. It was.
Well, you got me hooked now. Tell me, what did you see?
I saw a dark place, and she glimpses at the cave. It smelled stale and fusty, like there was an animal living in it, and there was a man, a huge man, so big, too big. He was trying to tell me something, but I couldn't hear him. He is my next waypoint, I am sure of it. And she looks at the cave again. She says, I'm wondering if we'll find him in there.
Yeah, shall I give this a quick bioscience scan in this cave? We haven't done that yet.
That seems prudent, yes.
So I'm gonna come bring Recaf and that lovely looking broth inside, and got to wipe your feet on the way in though. I do like my truck clean.
I do apologise, and you realise that the last couple of times she's been in and out, she hasn't wiped feet, but she does now.
Yeah, as you see, we'll be cohabiting this lovely little vehicle for a while. Well, until you decide your vision's going. So let's keep it clean together, right?
Of course, it's your home, your rules, absolutely.
All right, then that's the only cost. Let's do it. So, going inside,
All right.
cracks his fingers, gets onto his data pad.
Okay.
Time to tech use, is it?
Yeah, with plus 20. You're going for bio signs, are you?
Yeah.
Right, just a second.
I think the computer's got sand in it.
Okay, so it takes about half an hour to do this scan. And by the end of it, you're fairly convinced that there's. Oh, hang on. That's right, yeah. So,
You're on the edge of the seat now. Suspense. Dave. Do you know what this is like? The waiting.
All right, so you don't detect any life signs inside the cave. You're pretty sure you've got a good solid read. The rock is quite dense. There is a chance you think that if it's a particularly deep cave, or it has a series of twisting corridors in it, there might be something deeper in, and you wouldn't be able to detect it. But you're fairly certain there's nothing in the immediate entryway, and a good 30-40 meters inside.
Right. Is that right? Let's move your cab. Let's finish breakfast. Get the cab packed back into the truck, and then put the truck next to the door, just in case the weather changes while we're in the cave.
Okay.
Next to the cave entrance. So I'm gonna try and get as tight up to that as I can. So we've got a quick access and escape point instead of running through all the sand in case it's windy. When you get back, you never know. Weather's quite changeable here.
Yes, so I see.
So we can spend some time getting our stuff ready. Feel what you're comfortable with. What do I have? What might be of any use to her in the truck?
So just to give you an idea of what she's got her knife. She's also got an axe that she unhitches from her bag. She doesn't bring her bag. And she hooks the axe to a loop on her belt. She has a couple of pouches on her belt. There's a las pistol. There's one that holds a couple of charge packs. You also see she takes out of her bag a small Plastech packet, a little bigger than like a packet of fags, and she sticks that into her pouch on her belt as well. And she gets her rebreather and goggles. She doesn't put them on, but she clips them onto her belt. And as she's doing all this as well, just make an awareness test, please. Sight-based.
Okay. Fail. 0.9.
Okay. And after a few minutes, she strikes you as quite ready. Oh, also you notice at one point, as she's attaching all this
Silus
gear.
has not noticed anything.
No, this is something that's a bit more obvious that you would have noticed with that roll. She's attaching all her equipment to a belt, and then she gets this slightly ragged cloak, this hooded cloak that she's got, and she puts it on. And as she does, you hear like a slight clink, and you notice there's a tear in it at one point. You can see a fine like mesh weave. You realise it's an armoured cloak she's got.
Nice. Nod my head to that without making too much of a thing of it. It's gonna be over too much of shit. So mesh streetwear, mesh lined. What's this? Look at the rest of it. Smart. Lined. Smart. So yeah, I guess I'm wearing my what is it? Menswear. Because it's like it gives me 4 armor.
Yeah, it's fancy clothes.
It's just smart clothes. Doesn't say fancy. It's just smart. So I'm gonna go off my menswear, armored stuff. My 2 pistols, my rope over my shoulder, signal jammer because I just like taking it around.
Okay.
And obviously all my other stuff I can carry on me. And
Right.
units of salvage obviously stay in the truck. Yeah, I have a shotgun on my back, my 2 pistols. I don't use shotguns, do I? Not allowed.
I think you can.
Unless it's sewn off.
Yeah, you can use a shotgun, but because I think the rule is you can use. Yeah, you've got basic SP, so you can use what you started with, but you can't learn any more weapon talents unless they're pistols.
Oh, I
So
love the
basically,
shotgun on.
you're stuck to pistols and shotguns and rifles.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's good enough. Having a rifle might be useful out in the wastes.
Yeah.
Might look out for one. Still get stuff for that. Anyway, right, we're kitted up, ready to go. Get my photo visors on. Got anything else better than that? To look in the dark. I've got a torch. I don't think I've got a torch.
Haven't you?
Fuck. I'm an explorer. I don't have a torch, Dave. I don't have any sort of night vision at all.
I mean,
I'm thinking this might be a bad idea. I seem to have forgot to pack my torch.
oh, it just so happens. Oh, you've got a head-mounted lamp pack.
A head-mounted lamp pack.
Yeah.
Oh well, there we go.
It's on your gear next to filtration plugs, grapnel, and 100-meter line.
Oh yeah. Head-mounted. It's just because I can't see what the rest of the writing is on unless I do it. Oh yeah. If I stretch it really far across the page, it's there. It's all there. Just was cutting off because I've got it like on a little pop-up. So yeah, nice one. All right, that's going on. Hi, Owen. Love you. Night. Night. Sleep tight, Owen. Love you. Bye. Bye. Will do. Might not be. It's all right. I will do. Night. Love you. Bye. But so, where are we? Going into the cave.
Yeah, Agnetha has a glow lamp as well that's on a wrist mount. And she
perfect.
She straps that on, and you head off into the cave. So
I've got an Auspex to take down.
I don't know if you've got a handheld Auspex or not.
I've got an Auspex. Yes. Why wouldn't Silus have an Auspex when I base him all about bloody perception and awareness? Right, yes, so I'm taking the Auspex round. I'm going to take a reading. See which way the energy signature is coming from. That's okay.
So what you need to do now is this is like a scavenging test. So this you get to do a search test, and you get a plus 20 for the Auspex. Oh no, you get a plus 20 for the Auspex, but you also get a plus 10 for a roll you made earlier as well. So plus 30.
I'm going to roll that my last fate point.
Okay.
It's pretty important. Fine science. Yes, just 1.8.
Okay. Right. So you find some salvageable loot. It's xenotech. Most of it appears to be broken. What was it, xenotech? Or was it archaeotech?
We hit jackpot, Agatha. There's something in it.
It was archaeotech, sorry. It's not xenotech, it's archaeotech.
I told you I was going to find architect. Didn't I say that?
You did actually.
Architect.
Okay, and it's only a very, very small item. You're not sure what it is. It doesn't seem to work, but it does have a miniature power cell in it, and you're quite impressed with the intricacy of this device. And it's kind of like... like a tiny brass and silver clockwork piece. It looks like almost like the insides of a watch, but not flat, more like an irregular shape. And there is definitely a power source in it, and it looks like it's still trying to work. Like you can see the cogs are trying to turn, but they just keep, there's not enough power to make one turn, sort of thing. It just keeps.
I think it needs a dust.
Yeah, so it maybe needs a bit of work. It maybe needs recharging, but with it being Archaeotech, it's maybe a little bit beyond your capability. But it's probably worth something to someone somewhere, and it is in fact worth 180 thrones. This device. So if you want to add to your inventory, broken Archaeotech clockwork, and then 180 thrones in brackets.
Okay.
And as you're rooting around in the cave, it takes a little bit of time to sweep this cave. You realise it's quite a large cave. There's not a tunnel network or anything. It's just quite a large cave. And your Auspex brings you to this device quite quickly. But also while you're down here, I'd like you to just make a normal awareness test as well.
Okay, I'll just find thrones. Because he told me to. Just a normal awareness test, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just got no awareness today.
It's all right.
It's my day of unawareness. It's because all the pressure's on me. I'm feeling it, man. Little man's got a beautiful woman looking at him, and he's a bit nervous. Like he's got to find this treasure.
As you're rooting around, you're dragging this item out of the dirt and you're dusting it down a little bit, maybe, and peering at it. You hear very softly, you hear Agneth's voice say, "Mr. Cassidy, look." And you turn and see she's holding out one hand with the beam of light from a glow lamp playing straight ahead, and slumped against the back wall is a body. It's a human body. It looks like it's maybe been there for some time. It looks a little bit desiccated. It's missing the left leg below the knee. It's still clothed. It's just there. There's hardly any meat or flesh left on it. Just bits of skin and a little bit of scraps of stuff here and there.
This is a point where you feel like we're not the only things in this cave which are hungry.
She nods, but she takes another step towards the body.
Maybe we should go back, Agatha. We don't need to know this person's name.
Hang on. She looks round at you and says,
"I'm alive because I'm careful, Agatha."
"I don't think this was an animal attack." She shines. She's quite close to the body now. She steps another step closer, and she shines her torch down onto the torso. And it's wearing like a crude leather jacket. And she pulls back the torso, and you see the rib cage is shattered. And she points at the ribs and says, "These ribs have exploded outwards."
Got like a bolter shell fire or something like that.
She nods.
I've seen bolter shell. I've seen it before. Are you satisfied? I think we've found a treasure here. There's no other readings on the Auspex.
Okay, she's just a second.
Or is there any readings on the Auspex?
There's no other life signs or anything down here. Nothing else that grabs your attention. She stands and she walks away and says, "His holster's empty."
His holster's empty.
She points the torch again. You can see on his hip there is a pistol holster with no pistol in it.
Well, do you think it was a nice architect gun?
She shrugs. She says, I'd say that somebody killed this person and then looted their body.
Well, it has been heard before. This is why I've got to be careful with people in the wastes. Do you feel like it has any sorry, I'm going to have to come over and search this man out, sir. Give me a second, Agatha. You've opened the puzzle box now. I don't really like getting my hands dirty, but needs must. So I'm going to search this guy. I'll roll a search test.
Okay.
Just standard, yeah?
Yep.
When I'm confident about doing something.
Okay, so you pat him down, you go through his pockets and what have you, and you find like a few little personal knickknacks and things that aren't really, relevant or worthwhile. You do notice on the floor by his leg there is what looks like a coin purse that has been ripped open, and there is no sign of any coins. And just as you're about to give up and walk away, you realise that there's something on the floor about a metre away from him in the darkness in the corner, and you look and it's a box about 6 inches long. This small, what looks like it's made of a certain metal. Give me I don't know if you've got any relevant skills here, so it might just be an intelligence roll.
Got so tech use.
Yeah, give me a tech use roll. Actually, yeah, let's make it tech.
I've got trade technomat as well.
Yeah, give me that. Give me a trade technomat. Yeah.
Pass.
Yeah, so you quickly look at the metal, and it's this dull sort of silver grey metal, and you tap maybe the butt of your pistol against it, and it gives this very sort of dull ringing sound, and straight away you know what this metal is. It's chitalium. It's called. You know it's used in things like shielding for warp cores and reactors, and things like that.
Shit, I don't know what to open this box, and I'll take this.
Okay.
And I'll also I'm going to search my torch a bit more around the area to the side to see if I can see any more clues of anything else.
Okay. Give me an awareness test. Add to your box chitalium box. Add to your box chitalium box. That's how you spell it, by the way. I've put it in the chat for you. You look around the rest of the chamber, sweeping your headlamp about, and you spot over in a far corner. I've just realised I've done that as a GM roll, haven't I? So you won't be able to see. Oh no, you can see it.
I can see it.
You notice in the far corner there is a small sleeping bag and a pillow covered in a layer of fine dust, and the remains of what looks like a campfire. And next to that there is also a backpack, and the backpack has been ripped open. It hasn't been properly open. It looks like someone has torn it in half, and the contents of the backpack are scattered on the floor. But it's like quite everyday stuff. Like there's a couple of changes of pants and socks, and there's some cutlery and a canteen and little bits and pieces like that. As if someone was camping
Bible
here.
stuff.
Yeah.
Do you reckon this person got robbed for this box? This is rare material. This chitalium used for housing cars and energy signatures. That's why I dared not open it. It might have something which will get me irradiated.
It's also
as soon as I open this box.
It's also symbolic. Chitalium is considered to be one of the purest of metals. It's very rare that you find alloys containing chitalium. It's usually used in its pure form.
So I'm guessing whatever's in this box, I'm gonna maybe auspex it and give it a scan, see if we can find out what's inside. Something ticking. You know, I've got the trucks and I got mine, so let's get back out of this cave and into the truck.
A good idea. I don't like it in here.
We've got some treasures. What do you reckon, Agatha? We found a dead body. We found some architect, and we've got a box of value. I'd say that's a pretty successful first time treasure hunt to you. This is all thanks to you as well, because I did not want to go near that stinking corpse.
She says, I'd be lying if I said my heart rate wasn't slightly elevated.
See.
I'll meet you outside, Gaius. I just need a moment.
Who's Gaius?
Sorry, Mr. Cassidy. That was me fucking up, not her. I'll meet you outside, Mr. Cassidy. I just need a moment to try something.
All right, but remember the truck's literally parked up next to the cave door.
I'll just be a minute.
Oh, no worries. And I'm gonna head back into my truck.
Okay.
And swipe a pair of free pants while she's not looking.
Slightly dusty pants.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get back to the wagon, leaving Agnetha in the cave for a little while. What are you doing when you get back?
I'm going to auspex the box.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, sorry, right, slightly dusty pants. In my inventory. Gotta get this right. Yeah, when I look at it, like when I'm drunk one time, I'm going, what? Slightly dusty pants?
Yeah.
Oh. So what is it? Awareness with a plus something?
This will be a tech use. The plus 20.
Tech use. Plus 20, yeah?
Yep.
Fully auspex.
And you can cycle through all the different modes on this and take a bit of time, so you can spend time doing biosigns, energy, radiation, all of the different stuff.
Do bioscience first, and then
it all gets covered in one roll. So as you sweep this box, you get the first thing you get is like a structural readout of the box. Like I say, it's about 6 inches long by maybe 4 or 5 wide and about 3 inches deep. And it's you realise there's a hinged lid, and there's a hidden catch. You can see a little catch once you realise it's there. You can see a slight indentation that you think you just press this and it would pop open. And you can see that inside there is like a cavity. And the cavity is vaguely spherical in size, maybe 2 inches, almost like it's designed. Whatever it is like a 2-inch ball or something was designed to be kept in here. But there doesn't seem to be anything in the box. And you also realise that there is like with this structural scan, there is like a fabric lining inside the box, almost like this box has been made to securely house this small ball of whatever it is.
Who knows? Black metal? What? Who knows?
It could be anything.
He doesn't know that.
No, he doesn't. He has been told. He has been told to keep an eye out for objects made of black metal, but he doesn't know why.
This is not, and he wouldn't know it's
this is
theory because it's not been told.
Yeah, this is something something slightly different. But
this is something I need to draw to the attention to the mansion at some point in time. The fact that we've found this out with this, because it's obviously Kesty. Oh, he might just sell the box. He doesn't
do whatever you want, really.
Because it's not alien tech, is it?
No.
He doesn't know any better.
Exactly. So
we're making money this time.
Whatever decision you make is the right one in this situation. Also, there's no energy.
Funny storyline. If I felt like I should sell it, then you've got to chase the fucking seller down.
Yeah, go hunting for him. Yeah, but you don't detect any energy signatures. You don't detect any gas, any hazards. It just seems like it is just a box to put something in. It doesn't.
I opened the box.
Okay. You pop it open. You press this little catch. It pops open, and you see this void now where something is supposed to sit, and you can see it's lined with this red, like velvet type fabric, and there's a bit of it in the lid as well. So, you know, some of the void is in the lid, but there's nothing in it.
Oh, well, I'm sure the box is worth something.
You imagine it would be. Titanium is quite a pricey material.
Oh well, let's chalk that one up. Maybe I could get myself a gun made out of titanium.
By the time you get to the end of this scan as well, Agnetha reappears. She wipes her feet as she gets back into the truck. She looks a little crestfallen, a little downhearted. She says, I thought I'd try something I haven't done for many years. Sometimes people with my abilities can detect certain presences. I didn't detect a presence. Now that could mean there isn't one, or it could mean I failed. I'm not really sure. But either way, I suspect that gentleman may have been dead for some time. Sometimes the dead linger a little while.
Oh, you some sort of necromancer?
No, nothing like that. It's I have a connection to living things, and to the flow and the weave of fate. And sometimes, when people die, they leave a little bit of themselves behind. And sometimes,
like a fragment.
Yes, and sometimes, if one knows how to listen, one can hear the dead speak through those fragments. But as I said, my powers are passive. I don't have a lot of control over them. I thought maybe if I had a bit of quiet and a bit of focus, but nothing, unfortunately.
Well, I reckon whoever died in there is because of something what was round in this box, and they got in and chucked it into the car after blowing the chest out of the other person and nicked his gun because it was probably a really fancy gun. You know, probably like a bolt pistol maybe with an engraved name on it. Who knows? Really on it.
I'll take your word for it. That's all a little beyond my experience.
I don't know. I'm just speculating. It's like a little mystery. Anyway, let's go have some dinner. Look at this. Have you seen this architect? You've got any idea what this is? I'll pass it the clockwork architect energy ball.
Okay, let me just have a look, see if she would know anything about this. She might. She turns it over in her hand a couple of times and she says, no, it's quite intricate, isn't it? But it's not something I'm familiar with, I'm afraid.
Well, I reckon it's valued about 150 thrones.
Do you now? He says, well, maybe we could sell it over there. And she points south. And you turn to look out the window, see what she's pointing at. And you can see that on the horizon, almost directly south of you, there is a settlement, or what was perhaps once a settlement. And there is thin trails of smoke coming up from it. There's like a large chimney stack sticking up from it, and there's a thin trail of smoke drifting off into the sky from it.
I don't know if I think I've got to get this back to somebody else, but we'll put it on storage. But do you reckon we'll get a good, pretty price for this Chitilium?
I mean, Chitilium is it's not a cheap metal, not by a long shot. And then she says, and she holds up the ring that you saw her fiddling with earlier. And she shows you the ring, and again you see these 3 red stones in it, and the Aquila brand on it. And she says, this, for example, And she offered you this ring before as payment for getting her out of here. He says, I believe this simple ring is worth around 100 thrones.
Yeah, so this is a real fancy box.
Yeah, it's good quality workmanship as well.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll hold on to this one and get us a high. Well, I'll split it with you this one because you found it, and we'll split the profits of this, and this can help to your mission getting to wherever you've got to go as well. You need money in your pocket after all.
Oddly enough, I tend to find that I don't need much in the way of money. You keep your spoils, Mr. Cassidy. I should be fine.
Well, next time we trade, you want to eat anything, you want to buy anything, you just tell me, and I'll get it for the truck. You want anything here? You help it out. I want to make your life comfortable.
That's most kind, Mr. Cassidy. Thank you.
We didn't find no big man and no beast, though, did we?
No, thankfully.
No. Do you think that big man could be a space marine of myth and legend?
I doubt
the Emperor's
it.
Angels?
I'd be very surprised if my path was to cross with one of the legendary Astartes. Now that would be something, wouldn't it? But,
I would. No. Do you think I'd come up to his kneecap?
Oh, at least the thigh, I would say.
Oh, well, terrifying.
Agnetha herself isn't very tall either. She's like about an inch or so taller than you, I think.
It's probably stronger. Is she in the 30 stats for strength?
Yeah, she is. Yeah,
she's stronger than Silus. I put strength as below stat because I knew I was like a good guy, and I was just like, fuck it. Yeah. He's got to be weak.
You don't need it, do you, really? So
he's using his brain. All right then. What have you got any leftovers from breakfast?
She says yes. There is a little left.
Do you want to share some?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, well, let's eat and then let's get on our feet, eh?
Excellent. A plan.
So, sit down and eat with Agatha.
Yep.
Just generally chat with her, see about likes and, just state of the world. Put the world's to rights for half an hour.
Yep. Okie dokie.
We didn't dare jump into politics because I'm well removed from that.
Give me some sort of fellowship roll, charm or blather or whatever you want that you think would apply here.
I did stick one into my charm stat.
Yeah, I thought you did.
So let's do it. Blah 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 blah. I'll just go on and on and on.
As you're chatting away with her as well, she gives you the impression that she speaks quite eloquently, almost as if she might be of good breeding stock. She speaks almost like a noble, but there's occasionally little slips, little things that she says that make you think maybe she's not nobility. Maybe this is something she's learned. She's learned how to speak like this. She strikes you as quite intelligent, and occasionally she references certain things as she talks that make you think she's quite well educated. She seems to know quite a lot about history and the Imperial Creed in general, and she occasionally hints that she maybe knows little bits and pieces about things that she perhaps shouldn't. At one point she even says a couple of words of High Gothic. You get the impression that she is quite a well-educated woman.
Yeah. It's completely at odds with my guy, even though he's a intelligent scum, but he's a sort of like, he's scum, isn't he? He's risen up from that to learn his trade. So there's a little bit of a difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Social etiquette.
But you also get the impression that the way she talks to you, like, it's quite obvious there's a difference between you and her, but she never sort of makes you feel like there's a difference. She doesn't talk down to you. She doesn't seem to have a problem with slumming it in the back of a truck and rummaging around in sand or anything like that. She seems like quite a down-to-earth woman.
Yeah. I've enjoyed her participation, and I compliment her, and also that part that she's mucking in. It's nice. It's just nice to have another set of eyes around her. But I hopes you don't find your little girls just straight away.
Right. So by the time you've finished having a bite to eat, it's getting on towards midday. What would you like to do with the rest of your time?
Well, scan the area in front of us. And so I'm back to it now, Agatha. We're scavenging for the trail.
Okay.
We've got to get off this mountain. I reckon the Taurox will be quite good downhill, don't you reckon? It's going to be a little bit hairy, but we'll be alright.
Just floor it and hope for the best. Careening down, and that's how Silus and Agatha died.
Be like that robot chicken one where they're like rallying sandcrawlers against each other.
Right. So what you're doing? You're scanning terrain again, are you?
Yeah, awareness plus 20 then, I guess.
Yep. What is this doing? My computer's
just try get into your pattern so you don't have to keep telling me all the time.
Yeah, so I've got it all in front of me. Little cues. All right.
So it's nice.
Oh. Okay, so pick a tile and roll a D100.
West was the same. What the pencil said. I want to get to PR70. Where I'm heading to.
Okay.
So and then go across that way. So I'm going to go. Yeah, that one. And then what did you say?
D100.
Roll D100. Go D100. 37.
Okay, this is light rock in this
yes.
particular tile.
We like light rock.
So give me a. Are you? So you've done the scan for training. Are you doing any other scanning before you move in, or?
Oh yes, I am. What's that, Owen? Oh wow, that's pretty good. Did a flick book.
Cool.
That's cool. Do it again. Would it? Cool. No.
Shall I show it to the camera?
I don't know if I'll be able to see it properly there.
No, I can't. Yeah.
Go.
Oh, I didn't think.
Yeah, it won't go fast enough.
Yeah, the camera struggled a bit, I think, with that. Couldn't keep up with it.
It did. It wouldn't go fast enough. Try it again then, Owen. I'm just going to do a tech use roll for Dave while he looks at your flip book.
There we go. That was a bit better. I saw some of it then.
Yep, 1.3 degrees of success on that square.
Okay. What?
Oh, night.
What are you? What are you scanning for? Are you going for? Oh, you're going for that square, aren't you? Sorry.
Yeah.
So that would be. So you can pick.
Well,
You can pick 2 of those things this time.
I'll have energy and bioscience.
Okay, roll 2 D100s, please.
Energy first, is it?
Yep.
And then bioscience.
Okay, no energy or bioscience.
Carry driving through then.
Okay, so give me a driving roll.
Just drive or
plus-
navigate surface?
Navigate surface plus 20. Excellent.
3.2 degrees of success.
Yeah, you make good time travelling across this region. That only takes an hour.
Oh, it's bloody treacherous coming out the fucking desolate. Why they chose to put a bloody door there, I do not know. Gas swamps,
I mean, that's just one
big
of them.
rocks,
There are
mountains.
multiple doors around the city. That's just the one you normally use. So
I don't know why I use it.
they're all
It's
the way around.
treacherous.
Right. So it's about
Yeah.
midday, just after midday at this point. So what would you like to do now?
Scan the one in front of me.
Okay.
So, then I'll do the other one before you tell me, because I'm still gonna do it. So let's do it. Hey, there we go. I've scanned just that square as well.
Okay. So a D100, please.
How many times? Three is it?
So just
Time
one
or
to
four?
start with. Just one to start with for the terrain, and then you can pick 4 of those things to scan.
Okay, where's it? Where's the things? Clicked off. Hi, Agatha. Dice roll. Where's that chat there? Is where's structures energy? Okay, I'll go for by-sides energy, structures, and radiation.
Okay. So this is Prometheum Swamp.
Brilliant. So first one, I'll do it in so by-sides, energy signatures, structures, and radiation.
Okay, so 10 for biosigns. You don't find any biosigns. 40 for energy. You don't find any energy. But 89 for the structures. You do. And 91 is radiation. All right.
Sounds like I'm going for a Chernobyl reactor at this point in time. An old disused, broken down fucking radio reactor site or something. That's what I've got the feeling with these rolls. Knowing by what you say, higher rolls seem to be something.
Yeah, generally speaking, higher rolls are something. It depends on the terrain as well. But like, you tend to have less chance of finding like structures and life forms on the Prometheum swamps and the acid lakes, and more chance of finding life signs on like the flatter ground and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you've got more chance of finding certain types of structures in certain locations. Okay, so
I'll just drive through. Go on then.
let me just piece together what you've got here. So that's structure.
Broken down nuclear power plant by the sounds of the rolls.
Okay, you start to pick up some structures ahead, and as you sort of fine tune your scans, you realise there is like an emitted radioactive source, and you realise it's not some of the naturally occurring radiation. It's not some of the radiation like you experienced in the storm last night. It's contained and emitted radiation, which tells you it's from like quite a high-powered power source, like maybe a plasma generator or something like that. it appears there may be some sort of settlement ahead.
Who the hell wants to settle here? I've seem to have some sort of high-powered plasma reactor on the go around here.
Give me a Common Law Imperium roll with a +20, because this is your native environment.
Now I've moved up the gunslinging, whatever it's called, gunmetal city.
Gunmetal. Ooh.
4.2 degrees of success.
Okay, so you know that out in the wastes there are often there's sometimes caravans, trade caravans, because although Hive Decilium is like the major settlement on this world, there are no other major cities, but there are smaller settlements, little camps, little townships. There are travellers, caravans, lots of little settlements dotted around the place that you've encountered before. You've done trading with them in the past. It could be someone like that. It could be bandits. It could be pretty much anything, really. But you're fairly convinced that whatever it is, it's only a small settlement, and it appears to have a plasma generator providing power.
Okay. I'll just make my way towards there, see what's there.
All right. So give me a drive roll. This will be...
Navigate surface or drive ground vehicle?
yeah, navigate surface. This will be with a +20. No, it won't. That was a lie.
It's 10.
Yeah.
Oh, so close.
Okay, so that would give you... Where are we? 3.5. So that's getting up for 4 p.m. by the time you get there. It's quite treacherous going, this, having to sort of navigate around all these lakes. The paths are quite narrow in places. And as you get close enough that you can see this structure, you crest this small rise in the rocky earth around the side of one of these lakes, and the sun is beginning to dip towards the horizon at this point. There's still a bit of daylight left, but you notice that a few kilometres ahead you can see lights coming on in this settlement. It looks like the remains of some sort of rusted old industrial facility. And it stands next to... You've got a bit of an elevation on it. You can see it stands next to quite a large crater in the ground. And there are pipes coming out of this industrial facility into the crater. It looks like, this place was maybe built to extract whatever was in the crater and maybe refine it. Maybe it was a promethium lake once. Maybe they've been siphoning off the acid. From the looks of the large storage tanks that are a bit rusty, and there's a couple of vent stacks. You do suspect this was perhaps once some sort of industrial refinery for something. And you can see signs of life. You can see there's a few people patrolling on a wall around this settlement, wandering back and forth, armed with an assortment of rifles. They look like solid shot rifles. And they look like they're wearing... mostly leather gear. There's the odd bit of flak armor here and there. They don't look like soldiers. It looks like it's civilian stuff that's been repainted. There could be mercenaries. There's also 2 large watchtowers overlooking a gate that seems to be the only way in and out of this settlement. And the gate itself is made of what look like massive slabs of metal, like huge things about 6 inches thick, that look like they were shaped to fit something else and have been repurposed. In other words, it looks like the defences of this place have been built out of scrap. And above the door is a sign made of scrap metal that just spells out the word trade. And this isn't a place you've been before, but you guess by looking at it, at the setup, at the way people are dressed, and things like that. It looks like it could be, just some remote trade settlement full of people that probably just don't want to live in a hive city. So they've tried to, make a go of it out in the wasteland.
Oh, well, let's go do some trade. What do you reckon, Agatha?
She says, well, this is more your domain than mine. I'll take your lead.
All right, then, yeah. Coming out to the hive back-end population. I've never been here before. Make sure you've got your firearm equipped to subtly.
Okay.
Right, let's do it. I'm gonna drive up to the door of the settlement. Point my autocannon out the door. And then beep.
Okay.
Are you friendly? I get a shout.
As you
Are you open for trade?
As you pull up, as you get a bit closer as well, you can see just outside the fence there are a couple of quite rough-looking buggy type vehicles, quite stripped down. Little more than frames with engines
buggies.
And wheels. Yeah, that sort of thing. One of them does have a couple of spikes on the front, like it's designed to ram something. The other one has what looks like a heavy stubber mounted on the roof. There's no one in either of them, though. And as soon as you sort of crest this rise and start to get closer, you realise that there are a couple of heavy weapons that you think might be autocannons in the towers, either side of the gate, and they're tracking you, but they don't open fire. They're just casually keeping the gun on you. And as you get closer, it says, "Are you friendly?" You hear a voice yelled over like must be a megaphone or something. It says, "That all depends on you, my friend. Are you friendly?"
I'm friendly. I just want to know if, I've got to be taking your word for it. If you're friendly and open for trade, that this isn't just some place labeled trade, which is going to ambush me on the way when I come inside,
Now that would be a ridiculous trap, and anyone who walked into such a trap would be a stupid man. But no, we are open for trade. If you would be so kind as to lower your cannon, we will do the same, and then we will open our gates to you.
Oh, of course. And I point it down.
Okay. And then the voice comes again and says, "The wagon of that wagon of yours will have to stay outside the perimeter. If you would like it to be watched over, there is a 1 throne per day fee."
Oh, yeah. That's very kind of you. You can do that for me.
Certainly, sir. The gates suddenly squeak and squeal and swing open. And a man comes hobbling out. He looks like he's getting on a bit. He's bald-headed. He's quite scarred down one side of his face. He's dressed in an assortment of leather armors and furs. He's leaning quite heavily on an improvised crutch made of bits of scrap metal. And under one arm, he has what can only be described as a small robotic cat, which he sort of balances on one arm as he's hobbling out towards you, and he peers up at the truck.
Good day, sir. My name is Silus. Silus Cassidy. Here for trade. What do you have any food, liquor, and water? Do you have any other valuable items, armor, weapons, things of interest I could trade for?
He says, "We have a great many things available for trade, sir. Please." And he gestures towards the town, takes a step to one side and says, "Walk this way. My name is Hark. Welcome to trade."
Nice to meet you, Hark.
And he leads you inside the gates.
I don't know whether to leave Agatha on the turret in the truck.
I mean, she's going to come with you. Absolutely, she's going to come with you. Oh, I've just accidentally done something I shouldn't have done. Just a second.
Gonna put all security locks on my truck before I get out. Like
Okay.
those secret little items you twist and turn off to shut like mobility and steering off because you're so anal about your truck that you've done it. So after turning about 20, I'd like little keys and hide them under panels again. No, I might need to be in a rush. This is still going to take me about 3 minutes to escape once I get in my truck.
It's the slowest escape ever.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't want the truck getting robbed, so he does that before it goes.
Just realised I need to just update the truck a little bit. Because you've used some fuel. Oh, you got some... Did you put the salvage? When you found that... you found some salvage, didn't you, earlier? Did I tell you about that? I don't think I did. Yeah, I've just updated your character sheet. When you found that... earlier on, you found 4 units of salvage I forgot to tell you about. I've just added it to your character sheet.
Sorry, you disappeared for a second there.
Say again, sorry.
Yeah, you disappeared for a second there. So,
I didn't.
what am I seeing? Where am I going?
Right, I'm just going to put you on this new map. If I can find it. You should be able to see the new map.
Me and Agatha tearing up the town.
Yes, it's only a little town. It's not very big.
Pro 50s club.
It takes up this entire map basically. So
We're like holidaymakers.
yeah. I'll run through it. I'm going to have to go soon and pick Leanne up anyway, but I'll run you through what you can see and we'll pick this up next time. So here you are.
Oh, do you want to pick it up next time either way?
Yeah, I'm just going to very briefly tell you
see.
what you can see here. So where Hark is here, he's got lots and
I
lots
haven't
of
got
barrels.
visibility yet.
Haven't you?
No, it's black.
Should have. How very peculiar.
I'm zoomed all the way. Oh, no. For some reason, found it.
Yeah, so Hark, where he is right next to you, he's got like lots and lots of fuel. There's also several large buckets which seem to contain raw metal ores. South of your position, there is what appears to be a water refining plant. You can see a few people wandering around. There's a young woman pushing a cart of food. There's a rather simple-looking boy sat on some rocks with a backpack with a water container, and he's offering water to passers-by in exchange for coin. There appears to be a shop which seems to sell all sorts of stuff. There is this man stood near you who he has one mechanical arm. It doesn't look like the best quality. It's his right hand, and in his left hand he has a stick, which hanging from the stick are a number of other right hands that look like one he's got on, but each one looks increasingly worse than the one he's got on. And he's offering to sell second-hand hands, and his name is Handrew. And there is the main attraction. The main attraction here as well is this large building to the southeast of you, where you can smell. Made this a couple of weeks back. There's this smell of cooking meat and stale alcohol coming from this large building southeast of you, and you can see there's a sign outside the door to it as well that suggests this is a place to eat and drink. Welcome to trade, and we'll pick that up next time.
Oh, brilliant! Enjoyed that, Dave. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's good. So now you're a little bit ahead of everyone else.
I'm on a solo Rolo mission anyway, aren't I?
For now, although
for now,
yeah, there's the potential for. I thought you were going to find something actually. There's a few things hidden in the wasteland. They're not hidden in any particular square, but if you get the right combination of roles, you find stuff that is relevant to the main plot.
Yeah, I mean, that helps you as well, though, because you
Exactly,
don't
yeah.
have to hope for me to go onto Square. You can
Yeah,
just
you just put it
imply
in
it when
wherever.
the roles come out. Yeah, that just makes sense. That's a
Yeah.
really good way of doing
But
it.
that
Instead of trying to herd someone to a specific map and make
exactly,
that
yeah.
map appear and then
Yeah. You were
go to it.
you were very close to finding something that would have had a big impact on the game, and I thought you had found it, and then I double checked what you'd rolled, and when you found the cave, if you'd have had like a roll, I think you rolled a 91 or something. If you'd rolled like a 93, because you made 2 rolls, and if you'd have rolled a 93 instead of a 91, you would have found a plot specific location, but you didn't. So, but yeah.
Oh well. Oh, brilliant.
So
Thanks, Dave.
next time, we might throw it into the next game. It depends what happens in the next game, but you'll
I'm-
get to have a
I'm
little
liking-
explore. Yeah,
I'm liking having Agatha with me.
yeah,
I can occasionally NPC chat to her.
she's a good little character actually. I made her ages ago when I created the carnival, and she never really got involved very much. But she did tell a few fortunes. She did like I think she did Gaius's and Siegfried's fortune like 3 years ago or something.
Yeah, I remember doing the fortune teller thing. I'm trying not to pry too much with Silus, but he kind of like she's off her head anyway. Like she's almost like Mystic Meg.
Yeah, she is a bit. She's a bit weird.
She is, but it's fair enough. Silus respects her. Bigger than him anyway. It's not gonna.
She's not a bad character actually. She's got like she's not particularly strong at any one thing, but she's got some decent stats and she's got some like a good spread of skills. So
Yeah, I think that's going. These two might work well together, you know, because
assuming you both
Silus
survive.
I know. I know.
Are you?
Sorry, I've got to run.
Are you available for a game on Sunday?